You are listening to the PurpleTeens Podcast.
Hello and welcome to PurpleTeens Podcast, where we discuss issues affecting the Nigerian teenager and young adult. I am your host, Favor Afalaki Olofini, and in today's episode, we're going to be discussing civic responsibility and why it is important for our teenagers and adults. So stay tuned, invite your friends, tell a friend to tell a friend. The PurpleTeens is life, and come and learn one or two things as you enjoy your beautiful day. Yes, civic responsibility is an essential part of being a responsible citizen. And as teenagers and young adults, we have a duty to participate in activities that promote the well-being of our community and country. In today's episode, we will be exploring what civic responsibility means, why it is important, and how we can fulfill our civic responsibility. Okay, firstly, let's define what civic responsibility means. Civic responsibility refers to our duty to participate in the governance of our country in our own little or big way. And this includes participating in the democratic process, obeying laws, and serving the community. As Nigerian teenagers and young adults, we can start in our own small way by volunteering in our communities, joining youth group, participating in community service activities, going to orphanages, ensuring that your environment is clean, name it. So why is civic responsibility important? Civic responsibility is actually important for several reasons. First, it helps us to build our character. Being responsible and accountable for our actions help us to develop a sense of discipline, and commitment to serve the society that we live in. Yes, civic responsibility gives you a sense of character. You know that you have to show up. You know that you cannot be caught unguarded. You know that you are committed to a good cause. Secondly, it helps us to make positive impact on our communities. You don't know how much the little things we do can go a long way in people's life. As we volunteer and participate in community service activities, we can make a difference in the life of others and contribute to the development of our society. If you decide to help a mother of 4 or 5 take her kids during your long-term holiday, you have just relieved her, and that's a positive impact. As a matter of fact, those kids will not forget you. They will not forget the beautiful classes you've taken them, and you even get to learn from them. You get to learn can be, and how free the life of a child can actually look like. Thirdly, it prepares us for leadership roles. When you learn to be responsible and accountable for your actions, you are better equipped to take on leadership roles in the future. Leadership requires accountability. It requires you being responsible. It requires you being disciplined and empathetic. It takes really a high sense of professionalism and efficiency from you. So serving in your community and being responsible would aid. And the last importance of civic responsibility that I have to share with us today is it strengthens our democracy. It strengthens our democracy. As citizens, we have a responsibility to participate in the democratic process. By voting and engaging in civil discourse, we can help to strengthen our democracy and promote good governance. Show up, register for your PVC if you meet up the eligibility requirement. Register, vote. Don't just be there. Do something. Strengthen this governance. The whole world is waiting for us to show up, and we must always show up. Okay, so now that we understand why civic responsibility is important, let us discuss some ways in which Nigerian teenagers and young adults can fulfill their civic responsibility. Welcome back. So, firstly, we can participate in the voters card registration. We can encourage others to vote. Encourage that friend of yours that is feeling apathetic towards governance. Encourage them to go out there and get their PVCs. As we approach the next election cycle, which is in 4 years' time, it is important that we take our civic responsibility seriously and exercise our rights to vote. Your vote counts. Again, your vote counts. Secondly, we can volunteer in our communities. As I said earlier, during your long-term break, where you go for your summer lessons, and probably in the evening when you're free, you can just help, like in your environment, help a mother that, not just a mother, help people that cannot afford going to these big lessons. You can take classes for them. You can improve them with spellings, dictations, name it. You can engage in community cleanup projects, mentoring programs, symposium, awareness, research, feeding schemes, orphanages, and so on. By doing all of this volunteering, you get experience, you get exposure, you get to see people, you get to meet people, the big, the small, the high, the mighty, the lows. You get to see people, and you get that way you can make a positive impact on your community, and your name will be etched. Thirdly, we can participate in advocacy and activism. Yes, there are countless issues facing Nigeria. So far you're in Nigeria, and you probably know by now that there's a lot of solutions to be executed. And as teenagers and young adults, we can use our voice, our means, what we have to advocate for change. Whether it is advocating for a better education or fighting against corruption, we can make a difference by speaking out and taking action. Yeah. So, in conclusion, civic responsibility is an essential part of being a responsible citizen. And as teenagers and adults, we have a duty to participate in activities that promote the well-being of our community and country. By volunteering, participating in the democratic process, advocating for change, we can make a positive impact. Not just on our society, we can also improve ourselves and prepare ourselves for leadership and amazing roles in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful teenagers, word shakers, amazing listeners, thank you for listening to this episode of PurpleTeens Podcast. If you have any comments or questions about civic responsibility or any other topic affecting Nigerian teenagers and young adults, please feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to us on Instagram at PurpleTeens77. We are also on Facebook, PurpleTeens77. And if you want to send us a mail, you can reach us at PurpleTeens925@gmail.com. PurpleTeens925@gmail.com. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm glad you were able to listen up to this point, and I want to believe that you've learned one or two things. We would love to hear from you. Bye for now.